everybody, and welcome to Brain Ladle Trivia, the show where we like to have people come on and make us look really bad.
We like
Jeff, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you. We finally got the technical issues worked out. We hope. We think. We're going to go with it. So, Jeff, what have you got for us as far as a topic?
Topic tonight is going to be good old-fashioned booze.
Hooch. Sauce.
Yes.
Juice.
Cough syrup.
As American as apple pie.
I'm excited.
I'm pretty sure that came from England.
And there's Neil sucking the fun out of the room. Thanks, Neil.
Hope you're using the metal straw.
We care about the environment.
So I figured I'd start tonight off by lobbing a couple softballs at you, and we'll start off with some history of booze.
All right. Well, I have a history degree. This means I know a little bit about everything. So I'm excited about this.
This might be a little difficult, but we'll see.
Okay. You just said they were softballs.
There's a couple in here. It might not be the first one, though.
Oh, well, I'm ready.
All right, question one. Within 500 years, what is the earliest evidence of alcohol production that we have?
Have you been drinking tonight?
Earlier. You want me to redo that question?
No, it's funnier this way.
I only had to wait an hour for you guys to get your together.
Well, that's what he said.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in too.
And I'm locked in.
All right. I guess, Davo, since you were the first one.
Neil was the first one.
Oh, was he? All right.
Yeah.
We'll go with Neil.
I don't know why that's funny. I answered 4000 BC.
Davo
I answered 10,000 BC.
and Kels.
I went with 100 BC.
Nobody was really close. It was actually around 7,000 BC.
Oh, piff.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure on how to do that. I thought 500 years would be enough, but I might have given you guys a little more leeway. I probably should have.
Well, you're fine. I like you're bracing us. I like that.
If you'd given us 1,000, we still would have missed it. So
Well, that's true too.
If you'd given us 2,500, we would have missed it.
Hopefully, you guys get some of these right, so it's not just defeat after defeat after defeat.
Well, we're relentless. We'll do well.
well, I just want to put as an aside say that I was playing along when I was editing the Disney episode, and I would have killed you guys on that one.
Oh, really?
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I would have won by 10.
1 by 10? Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not really killing them so much as beating them.
So Neil's like the Monday morning quarterback.
He totally is. So much so.
So to follow up on question one with question number two, can anybody tell me where this evidence was found?
Are you wanting, how specific are you wanting us
Like-
to be? We know it's on Earth, but
Damn, there goes Mars.
If you give me the country, you get full credit. And if you can actually give me something a little more specific, I'll give you 2 bonus points.
okay.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
Locked in.
Neil, what do you got for me?
I wrote down Mesopotamia. I couldn't think of. There's only 2 cultures that I think were probably around then, really, and they were like Mesopotamia and China. And I picked this one.
Okay. Davo?
I wrote down, I was thinking along the same lines as Neil, but I actually picked a specific country in the Fertile Crescent, so I went with Iraq.
Interesting. Kels?
I went with Greece.
Well, Neil, if you would have went with your other instinct, China, you would have been correct.
Mm.
Dang it.
And I might have given you an extra 2 points if you could actually pronounce the name of the town where it was found in China.
Well, what was the name of the town?
It
You
is
can spell
something
it.
close to Jiahu. It's JIA-HU.
Zhuahu.
Yeah, when you go on Google, you can listen to the pronunciations by computer people speaking it.
Mhm.
Yes.
It really didn't sound like that, but it was pretty terrible.
JIAHU. Q. Okay.
Yes. So on to question 3.
All right.
What is the oldest known alcoholic beverage?
I'm locked in.
Second guessing myself. That's always terrible. But I'm going to second guess myself and lock in with that.
Well, I'm going to do you one better because I third guessed myself.
Oh, the dreaded triple guess.
I thought you guys were a little more worldly than this. I was afraid this category was going to be too easy for all of you.
You couldn't
Nah, I
even
can't-
pronounce the answer for question 2, man.
All right, Kels, what do you got for me?
I wrote down wine.
Okay. Devo?
I wrote down rice wine.
Okay. Neil?
My first thought was beer because I thought beer was easier to make than wine. But then it occurred to me that there's a more primitive alcohol, or I think of it as being more primitive, that's easier to make than beer and wine, and that's mead. So I just guessed mead.
Ding, ding, ding. Neil, you have that correct.
Mead is so good.
A fun little tidbit when I was reading this, from what we've been able to discover, we believe that people first discovered alcohol by finding fermented honey mixed with rainwater, which is what mead basically is. And that's where our fond appreciation of alcohol came from.
It's so hard to ferment honey, though. I mean, that's kind of like a happy accident, like the myth about how the Emperor of China discovered tea. He was sitting in his garden one day, and a leaf from a jasmine tree, I believe, fell into his hot water, and it made tea, and he loved it, and there you go.
I'm calling
That's a
shenanigans on that.
It's a myth. That's what I just said.
Also, one quick aside, another quick aside, Jeff. I know you're new here, but on the Brain Ladle Trivia Podcast, we don't have tidbits. We have nuggets.
Oh, nuggets.
They're trivia
Got some
nuggets.
nuggets for you.
I don't know where that came from, but I'm sure it's something that Jeff just pulled, or that Devo pulled out of his butt one time.
All right, so we're going to move forward in history a little bit with this last question in this category.
But we're moving into the ADs.
We are.
Oh,
All right.
We are actually moving into a period of history where, well, I was going to say some of you might have been alive, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, geez.
I know who that leaves out.
Yeah.
Well, I probably was.
Youngster. All right, I'm ready for this.
All right. In 1964, Congress declared this alcohol to be a distinctive product of the United States. It prohibits imports of this alcohol with a name on it from other countries and considers this alcohol to only be real if produced in the United States. Name that alcohol.
I'm locked in.
I am also locked in.
Oh, man, you guys are boozier than me. God.
I've been out with you. You hold your own. Just all right.
Okay. All right. We're going to stop that conversation. I have locked in with something. There we go.
I believe Neil was first.
I heard something on another podcast recently about this alcohol actually only being really this alcohol if it comes from Kentucky, and I put bourbon.
Kels,
I went with whiskey.
Tava.
I went with moonshine.
Neil is correct. And Kells is kind of correct because bourbon is a whiskey, but I don't know that he should receive points because it is a specific whiskey.
I think he should not, because I got it wrong and I'm being spiteful.
I think whiskey is not necessarily bourbon, but bourbon is necessarily whiskey. And so I think whiskey's too broad because clearly there is Irish whiskey and other kinds of whiskey that is called whiskey in the country.
I will agree with that.
Sorry, Kels.
No, you're not.
Neither am I.
No, not really.
I should have thought of that answer, and I'm a little pissy about it.
So who's taking score?
I have been.
So Neil, what's our score at the end of the first round?
I've got Kels with 0, Davo with 0, and Neil with 20.
I think this next round is going to be a little bit easier for everybody.
You said that about the first one.
Well, I listen to you guys, and I'm always like, I can never actually be a contestant because you guys would steamroll me on all these questions. I feel so dumb when I'm listening. But now I'm glad you've helped me realize that's not the case.
You have your own special talents, Jeff.
I do. My mom always told me that. All right, so we're going to move on to our second category.
That hung in the air a long time. I was trying to be a little.
It was a little weird.
A little respectful.
It's like the last free throw in Teen Wolf or something.
Yeah.
So on to our second category, we're going to move into movies. You all have seen movies, correct?
A few.
I saw one once.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hereditary is amazing.
You dug that?
I dug it. Hereditary is fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
Never heard of it.
Oh, it's a great horror movie. Check it out. Seriously. If you like The Exorcist, you'll like this.
I do like The Exorcist. I'll have to check it out.
You'll like this then. Yeah.
We just watched Tag.
You watched what?
A movie just came out called Tag. It's a comedy.
Oh, I thought you said. Was that any good?
We were very surprised at how much we belly laughed throughout pretty much the entire movie.
Oh, it's good.
We were very shocked at how funny it was.
I heard some really
check that
crazy trivia about that. Trivia nugget about Tag. Jeremy Renner somehow broke both his arms on the shoot.
I could see that.
And they had to CGI in a lot of his stuff that had to do with grabbing and his arms. This guy played Hawkeye perfectly fine, no injuries.
He's in the Tag movie.
And he breaks both his arms.
He fought Vision.
He did.
Civil War. He sprained an ankle and anything, but he broke both arms.
Broke both his arms.
That is a great nugget.
Jeremy Renner, if you listen, man, no disrespect, but that's funny as hell.
It's
All right.
So boozy movies.
Category 2, movies. First question. This movie is about a group of friends who embark on an epic pub crawl, coincidentally during an alien invasion. To save the world, they must make it to the last bar on their crawl, which is called This. Coincidentally, yes, I did use that word twice, which is the same name as the movie.
I know this movie. I know who's in it.
Everybody knows this movie.
I know what it's about. I know. I can't remember the name.
Ken, I'm locked in.
Neil, quit it. God, that is so wrong. But I'm going to lock in with this, and I'm going to be angry for the rest of the show.
I'm just gonna let it. I'm gonna let it go.
All right.
Are you punting?
Nah. I wrote the wrong answer down, but I wrote something down.
All right, Neil, what you got?
I believe the movie is called World's End or The World's End. I'm not sure if the "the" is there or not.
That is correct. Davo.
Oh my God, I got it right. I wrote down World's End. Woohoo!
Finally.
Yeah.
Kells, are you here to disappoint?
Nah. I wrote down The World's End.
Nice.
I was
See, I told you this was going to be a little better.
nah, I was jumping between. This is the end jumped in my head first, and I knew that wasn't right.
So, question number 2. This 1987 movie starring Mickey Rourke and Faye Dunaway depicts the life of poet Charles Bukowski as he struggles with alcoholism.
I didn't know that was about Bukowski.
I didn't know this was a movie. What year did this come out? 87?
Yep.
Dave, what were you doing in 87?
I was really digging Def Leppard's "Pour Some Sugar on Me" in middle school. Never remember the name of this movie, but I'm locked in.
I locked in with what I think is a great Mickey Rourke movie.
It's not 9.5 weeks.
Well,
It's better than the 2 I got, Neil. You're probably in the decade. All I got is The Wrestler.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure he was struggling with some addictions in that one too.
Are you re-locking in with something else, Neil?
I mean, I shouldn't, but I am. I think it's violating the rules, but I put another wrong answer.
Yeah,
Okay, as long as it's another wrong answer.
I locked in with something too.
All right. Neil, were you the first one? Even though you
I
changed
don't
your mind.
No, I was the first one. Jeff, come on.
I need to open up like an Excel spreadsheet or something to keep track of this.
It really doesn't matter that much. You could just rotate through us, alternate.
All right.
Yeah,
Devo?
it doesn't matter who you call on. I wrote down Ironwood.
Kells?
I'm not totally sure, but I feel like in the background of the Goonies, the plot to this movie was going on, so I wrote the Goonies. Like they were at a bar at one point, and Mickey Rourke might have been in there. I don't know.
Wow.
I want to see that version of the Goonies.
I
Me
got
too.
the director's cut. So
All right, Neil, what do you got?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's not Ironwood. I didn't know he was in that, but that was actually a book that I had to read in college, and I know we read it because the movie came out, and the movie came out in '88, or I think it came out in '88. I think Mickey Rourke was also in Diner, and maybe there was some alcohol at the diner, but apart from that, that's all I got.
He was in Diner.
Well, you will all be happy to know that none of you got it. And the correct answer is Barfly.
Oh, poop.
Never heard of it.
I really felt that you guys would have got that.
I've heard that title.
I was quick trivia nugget about Diner. A movie was filmed and set in Baltimore.
Really?
Played a very big part in that movie, and it is very good.
I've never seen it. I might have to check it out.
You should. I think it has Steve Guttenberg and Kevin Bacon. It's got a nice, strange ensemble cast, but it's good.
But no Josh Brolin or One-Eyed Willie.
No One-Eyed Willie
I'm
or John Matuzak.
I'm really not interested there.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, this next question, I'm going to give you so many hints as to what this movie is.
Don't preface it with that because I'm
without
gonna feel bad. I get it wrong.
basically telling you the title of the movie within the question.
Come on, man.
You guys have got this. All three of you. I know you do.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this late 80s film is about a part-time bartender who finds love in Queens, New York. It made more than $170 million worldwide, but it won 2 Razzies for Worst Film and Worst Screenplay.
What year?
It's a late 80s film. I didn't get the exact year. Probably should have.
Finds love in Queens.
Yep.
Locked in. I'm locked in. I've never seen this movie, but it's all I got.
I'm locked in.
All right, Kels, what do you got?
I've never seen this, but I wrote down Cocktail.
Nice. That is correct.
No.
Neil?
I also wrote Cocktail
Nice.
because the time frame was right.
Davo?
Cocktail.
Oh. See, I told you guys could do it. This last one should be a little bit easier, too. I'm almost giving you the
You put so much pressure on us when you do that,
Is it
Jack.
Cocktail again?
You make us. Is it the Goonies?
Is it about that scene in the bar that I alluded to?
So the last question in this category. Shaken, not stirred. Can you name that Bond movie that was spoken in? There's only 25 of them, so you should be able to narrow it down pretty easily.
So we naming the first time he said it?
Correct.
I'm locked in.
Unless I saw one when I was a kid and don't remember it, I've never seen a James Bond movie.
The heck you
So
say?
I just kind of picked one that's like ever.
What?
I feel you.
That's not something we just walk past.
James Bond never did it for me. It's crazy, and maybe about a month ago, I had family come in, and we were down in D.C. touring all the different museums, and they wanted to go to the Spy Museum. Sounds awesome, right?
Yeah.
Well, about 2/3 of it is dedicated to James Bond.
Oh, that's lame.
I know, right?
You're in Washington D.C., CIA, FBI, NSA, all that cool stuff.
And they had some cool real spy stuff, but there was just way too much James Bond there.
I'm locked in.
So everybody's locked in except for Neil?
No, I'm locked in.
Oh, okay.
I just picked the earliest movie I could think of.
So what do you got, Neil?
I picked Dr. No because I think that's a really early one, right?
First one.
That is the first one. And you were almost correct, but you were not.
Oh, doggone it.
I guess we'll go to Davo next. What do you have?
Dr. No. Dr. No.
Still close, but no cigar. Kells?
Oh, Goldfinger.
You are correct, sir.
Thank you, Zach.
Of course you are with your James Bond knowledge.
Yeah.
Fun nugget. That phrase was actually spoken in Dr. No, but it was not James Bond that said it. It was Dr. No.
You mean Dr.
No.
No took... James Bond took his drink preference from his arch enemy?
Pretty sure he took
His arch enemy
his Blofeld.
knew how he liked it
Oh.
and
I
told
see.
him when he served it to him.
Nice.
It was actually a very confusing read because it was written in books before the movies were made, and certain people said it before James Bond, and it was like a college course just for that one phrase.
Thanks for getting to the bottom of it for
I
us.
know. Actually, I will throw out a little bit of credit to a mutual friend of ours, Anthony. I had him double check my questions to make sure my facts were straight. And
Cool.
I had actually had Dr. No first because it was so confusing reading the wiki for it. He was like, I think you're wrong. And he was correct.
The wiki, there's a wiki for shaken and not stirred.
There's a wiki for everything.
Oh, God, yes.
Well, thanks, Anthony, for checking
Appreciate
these
it.
questions.
Yeah, thank
Except
you,
that
Anthony.
You checked that one too well because it should have been Dr. No and I would have gotten the point.
I wanted the points, too. Anthony versus.
So we're at the end of the second round. What do we got for points?
Starting at the bottom with Davo, who has 20 points. Kells has 30, and Neil is heading up the pack with 40.
Nice.
Still a tight game, man. You're good.
It
It's
is.
pretty close.
Still a lot to go. So this next category should be something that's familiar to everybody as well. So I feel like we'll get some decent points out of this round. And it's going to be music.
Music.
We all listen to music, right?
I like
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I like
Okay.
music.
I'm guessing between the four of us, we listened to four very different kinds of music. Davo's really into the Imagine Dragons, and Kells is mostly Motown. And
I'm not in. How dare you, sir?
I'm sorry about your preference in music, Davo.
That wasn't my preference.
You can own up to it. It's okay.
No.
And Jeff likes bands like Desiccated Fetus. And
Is that really a band?
It probably is. So this artist likes to drink alone with nobody else.
Locked in.
Locked in.
I'm locking in.
All right, Kells, let's get you out of the way, bud.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. I wrote down Bobby Brown. So the band would have been like New Edition.
Hey, Alex.
So,
All right, Neil, what do you got?
I believe the answer is George Thorogood.
You would be correct, sir.
I also answered George Thorogood
You
for
you're
I
correct
Drink
as
Alone.
well.
Yay.
what band is?
The Destroyers.
The Delaware Destroyers.
That was the original
See,
name,
those
and
two
then they dropped the Delaware.
See, I should get 2 points because I had the original OG name. Yeah.
Well, what was the band when he recorded the song?
Just then the Destroyers. I
Does it?
think he only had one solo album. All the rest were with the Destroyers. All right, question 2. You guys got this. This Guns N' Roses song was mostly believed to be about heroin, but was actually about this liquor. Everybody loved Guns N' Roses.
I saw him 3 times in concert. I know the song. Didn't know there was any liquor that was called that. So I'm thinking I might have the wrong song. I'm just gonna lock in.
I'm locking in with a Guns N' Roses song.
There we go. Kells, you know some Guns N' Roses songs?
A few, but none that would really work for this question. So I pun it.
Davo, what you got?
November Rain, because it's a Guns N' Roses song.
It is indeed a Guns N' Roses song. It's not the correct one.
Well, thank you.
Neil, what do you got, Neil?
Well, there's a song that goes, I used to do a little, but a little wouldn't do it, so the little got more and more, that I always thought was about heroin, called Mr. Brownstone. So I answered Mr. Brownstone.
You are correct. It is about heroin, but that is not the correct song.
Oh.
Then I don't know. What is the correct song?
The correct song is Night Train.
Oh.
I didn't know that one was about heroin. I assumed that one was about Night Train.
About a train that ran through the night?
Or
No,
the
about
liquor.
isn't that a fortified wine?
Yes.
Yeah. I always thought it was about the wine. Now I know.
All right, so question 3. This category. This song was recorded in 1980 by a very popular hard rock band, days before the lead singer died from alcohol poisoning. So you'll get full points for naming the song, and we'll give you 2 extra points if you name the singer. And I will give you a small hint. The name of the song is a pretty ironic name considering this question.
I got it. That was the clue
Oh,
that
dang
nailed
it.
it for me.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
All right, Neil, what you got?
I'm going to guess that the album was Back in Black. The song was Have a Drink on Me, and the singer was Bon Scott.
And you would be correct. Kells?
Oh, well, I knew none of that. I wrote down Dead Drunk.
That would be ironic.
Very.
Davo, what do you got?
I wrote down Bon Scott for the artist, but I could not think of a AC/DC song alluding to alcohol, so I wrote down Big Balls.
So do you get 2 points for getting the bonus if you don't get the actual question or no?
Heck yes, I do.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Heck yes. I gotta get something.
All right, last question in this very well-known category. This 1977 song says some might claim that there's a woman to blame, but it's really about the tropical layback lifestyle.
Locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in. I feel like this isn't right, but it's what I know it is. But I'm locked in.
All right, Kels, what you got?
Assuming it's Margaritaville.
Neil?
I think we're wasting away in Margaritaville.
Davo?
Margaritaville.
And you are all correct.
Hot dog.
Yeah, at the end of round 3, had a little bit of a flip down at the bottom end of the scale. Kells is at the bottom with 40. Davo just flew by him with 42. And
Heck yeah, I did.
Flew by.
And thanks to Bon Scott there. And Neil is I got 72.
Wow.
Close game.
It's not embarrassing at all.
All right, this next category, we're going to talk about how it's made. You
Love
guys
that
know
show.
basic chemistry of different
is a good
alcohols, don't you?
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. Put the lime in the coconut and shake it all up.
Question 1. This distilled liquor can only be made from white grapes from one of 6 different terroirs. Can you name that liquor?
To who what? Huh?
It's called a terroir.
I am locked in with my answer.
I'm locked in too.
I don't know. I like him.
All right. Davo, what you got?
I'm not 100% satisfied with this answer, but I do know that in order for this beverage to be called its name, it has to come from the Champagne region. So I said champagne.
Okay. Kels?
Said Pinot.
Oh, as in the wine.
Yeah, I wasn't happy with it.
Okay. Neil?
Yeah, I also went with champagne, but it's not a liquor, so I don't think it's right.
And you would be correct.
Had it being wrong.
Is not it. The correct answer is cognac.
Oh.
Oh, no wonder. I hate that stuff.
Really?
I hate cognac.
Huh.
Except for Hennessy. Hennessy's delicious.
I love cognac. All right, question number 2. This cocktail from Dawson City, Canada, has a little bar entirely dedicated to a single cocktail. There's only one rule if you want to drink it. You can drink it fast, you can drink it slow, but the lips have got to touch the toe. Name that cocktail.
I have no idea what it is, but it sounds really fun.
Let's remember that statement.
I'm locked in.
I'm going to punt so as not to delay us any further because, oh my God, I'm just dazzled by like Dawson City and drinking rules and all that stuff. That sounds great.
It's like you guys have never been on the internet.
I know the gist of this one. I don't know the name of the drink, but I think I know vaguely what it's about.
Kels, 4th down. You going for it or you punting?
I'll go for it. I'm locked in.
All right, what do you got?
Well, what's the name of the town? Dawson City?
Yes.
Is it close to water?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Well, it's in Canada, so there's probably snow everywhere, so yes.
Well,
It's very close to the water.
I just wrote down Sex on the Beach. I have no clue.
All right, Neil?
So I vaguely remember hearing a story on some TV show about this little bar somewhere that has an actual toe that they put in drinks, and this could be it. But I have no idea what the drink's called, so I just put a dead toe cocktail.
Delicious.
Are you? Was that show Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No, it was like a weird eats kind of show. I think I forget. It was a while back.
Davo, what'd you come up with?
I
Great
punted.
guy.
Oh, that's right. Well, Neil was the closest, but he did not get the name of the cocktail. I feel like he should get a couple points for at least knowing what it is.
Nah, he shouldn't.
Nope.
Okay, well, I guess Neil gets no points. It's
It's
it's called the Sour Toe Cocktail.
Sour toe.
And
When you're running the show, you can decide who gets extra points. You don't have to rely on these other jokers to decide that.
I still remember
Just
whiskey.
Yeah.
Well, whiskey was just
we don't
wrong.
have a mutiny or anything on our hands, so
Well,
Or
I'll be the
majority
tiebreaker,
rule.
and I let me be the tiebreaker on this. And I think that Neil should get 2 points because he actually got reasonably close to the toe.
But toe was in the question.
Toe was not in the question.
But you didn't.
Then how
It
would
was
you
in the
fucking
question,
tell?
but not in the drink.
You didn't know there
But
was
not
a
in the
toe in
drink.
it.
He says you got to kiss the toe. Toe was the
You went with
last
sex-
word in the question.
You went with Sex at the Beach. I don't know what kind of thing you were trying to
I
kiss
was
in that
thinking
drink.
undertow.
Like
Kiss under the
TOW. No.
It's better than pun. Ooh.
Oh, well, hey, don't look at me, man.
Everybody's throwing shade.
What in the world?
We
It's
need to-
getting saucy over here.
We need to move on, unless you have a nugget.
I do have a little nugget about that.
I am curious about that. Kels, can you chill for just a second while we hear about toes in a drink?
Sure.
So, at this point in time, they are working on their 8th toe.
Where are they getting their toes?
From donations.
Oh,
When
This is a human toe.
human toe soaked in
Are you-
alcohol, and you do the shot, the toe is at the bottom of your shot glass, and you have to let the toe touch your lips, and there is a $500 fine for swallowing the toe.
well, I bet that doesn't get paid out very often.
It has been paid out once.
What?
Yes, somebody
is
went
real?
in and yes, it is real.
Somebody went in, took the shot, swallowed a human toe, and
paid
got to pay
$500
5 stacks for the bill.
happily.
Oh,
You know, college kids.
Yeah,
don't
you-
do anything.
oh well, yeah. That's revolting.
It is just a little.
It's. I thought it was metaphorical.
Yeah.
I really did. That is so
Like
bad.
a rubber toe or something. It's pretty damn gross.
Nope.
Yeah.
Actual human toe. They get them from people losing them from frostbite. Had a guy
Oh.
had something drop on his foot and cut his toe off, and he donated it.
Wow.
Oh God.
Toes from all around the world.
Makes you wonder if you could choose a boy toe or a girl toe, because then you get some nail polish on the toe. Ugh.
That's
The visuals alone are killing me. Can we move on to question 3, please?
We will move on to question 3.
Oh man.
This is a little bit better, but not by much.
Mm.
This popular alcohol can be made from various ingredients, including byproducts from oil refining and wood pulp.
I'm locked in with an answer.
yeah, me too.
Neil is in deep thought.
Well, I can think of a kind of alcohol that you can make from cellulose, but you don't really drink it. So I'm thinking there must be something else there. I'm locked in.
All right, Kels, what you got?
I wrote down moonshine.
Davo?
Vodka.
Neil?
Vodka sounds like it could be good. I know you can make vodka from a bunch of different things. I know that you make ethanol from
Oh jeez.
wood pulp, but you wouldn't really want to drink it. So I put White Lightning. which I think is another word for moonshine, right?
Correct. Davo got that. It's actually vodka.
You make vodka from anything.
All right, last question in this category. This alcohol can be considered brandy, but not all brandy can be considered this alcohol.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm hanging my head on this one.
Oh, man.
So we all locked in?
I'm locked
Yeah,
in.
we're all locked in then.
All right, Davo, what do you got?
Well, I was trying to think brandy is a certain type of something, and I'm not a real brandy drinker. I stick mainly to rums and gins and stuff like that. So I said whiskey.
Okay. Neil?
I said sherry. I don't even know what sherry is, but that's what I went with.
I think it's just a wine, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's a sweet fortified wine.
Kels, you got something funny for us?
Only my shame.
Hang your head in shame.
Well, Davo, you were the closest with your reasoning behind your answer, but you're going to kind of kick yourself when you hear it. It's
Am I?
cognac.
Oh, 2 cognacs?
Yep.
Come on.
I've heard it in the show before.
Dude, I wanted to put.
It's
I wanted to
fine.
put that
No,
so
it's
bad.
not a criticism.
It's a little tricky.
Oh, cognac. So much gross. So what are the scores? Because cognac is angry making.
Well, with 3 people playing and 4 questions in that round, there were 120 total points possible, and 10 were scored,
Hooray.
which brings our totals to Kels with 40, Davo with 52, and Neil with 72.
Hooray vodka.
Still pretty close game, though.
Yes.
Feeling good about it. So this next category is where I wish I was a master impressionist. It would be great, but I'm not. So
Are you going to
just
try
have
though?
to go with it. Not even a little bit.
Oh.
We've all heard of comedians in cars getting coffee, right?
That's a
Heard
good
of it.
show.
Never seen it.
I've never seen it either.
It's
But you've heard
worthwhile
of it.
watch. I like it.
It's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've seen a few episodes of it.
The one with Tina Fey was great.
I'll check it out then.
So this category is called Celebrities in Cars Getting Drunk.
Oh boy.
All
What is the
right.
deal with these celebrities? That's not gonna do. So we're going to start off a little highbrow at first. Question 1. This American artist, who was a major figure in the abstract expressionist movement, was under the influence of alcohol when he killed himself and one of his 2 passengers.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
All right, Davo, what do you got for us?
Sebastian Janikowski? No. I wrote down Jackson Pollock.
All right, Neil?
Yeah, the only abstract impressionist I know is Jackson Pollock.
Kels?
I knew none, so I went with Pappy Druitt.
Who's Pappy Druitt?
You never saw that show?
Oh my God.
Yeah, you know no?
No.
Really?
No. But I got the pun. No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't
Oh
either.
my God.
Look up Pappy Druitt. Kind of in the vein of like Bob Ross, but like not as cool.
Oh. Well, it can't be nothing's as cool as Bob Ross.
Kels, unfortunately, you are incorrect. Davo and Neil, you got that correct. All right, question 2. This donkey killed himself and a production assistant while driving at over double the legal limit. Accident investigation suggests the car may have been traveling up to 140 miles per hour.
So a donkey drove the car at 140 miles an hour.
What the hell was it?
Well,
What the hell was going on? I feel like this is
I should have
the
realized
fever talking.
that that you guys couldn't see my air quotes when I said the word
Oh.
donkey.
Okay.
Okay. So there wasn't an actual donkey driving.
I was so lost. I was like, man, I felt like I would have heard about this. It's like once you make your fortune in Shrek, like you just don't listen to the way.
His little hooves can't reach the pedals.
I'm locked in with the wrong answer.
I'm locking in an answer, but I believe I'm wrong. But I've locked in an answer.
Yeah, I wrote something down.
Davo, what you got?
Well, I wrote down Steve McQueen because I know he drove fast cars, and I was so lost on a donkey and air quotes that my brain went. So, Steve McQueen.
All right, Neil.
Well, when you said donkey, I thought it was probably a pun because donkeys don't usually drive.
Mhm.
And so my first thought was that you might have been talking. What?
Don't
No.
usually or don't ever.
Well, I can't say
Not in
never.
this
I-
part of the country, at least.
there could be some donkeys somewhere that can drive. I don't know.
Montana,
But,
with the laws.
So I started thinking, well, maybe you're referring to a Democrat, and the only one I know that had a car accident was Ted Kennedy, but he didn't die in his, and he didn't have a production assistant,
Just his career died.
except for the fact that he was a senator for another 40 years before he died. While he was in office.
Getting saucy about Chappaquiddick. Jeez.
I mean, leave the poor man alone.
He's
I don't
dead.
really
He doesn't
care.
care. Him and Whitney Houston, they don't care.
Wow. That's we bring up Whitney again.
So the production assistant made me think, obviously, that's someone that would work for a TV show. And there's a TV show that was called Jackass, which I never saw. And I only know one guy who was on it who's still
Oh.
alive. So I just said, dude from Jackass, because I don't know who
Oh
it might have
man,
been.
that's great answer.
No, it's a terrible answer.
No, you're on the right track. You're totally on the right track. That's a great answer.
Yeah.
That's how I got to dude from Jackass as my answer.
Kels.
Is it Ryan Dunn?
Kels has got it correct.
Nice.
It is Ryan Dunn.
And is that a guy from Jackass?
Yes, he was on Jackass.
That was great. Good. That's a really good pull
He was
there,
on
Neil.
Air quotes, donkey.
Yeah, and good job, Kells, for actually getting the name. I was incredibly off.
As he was. Well, I knew it wasn't Johnny or Steve-O, but yeah, I was really close to putting BoJack Horseman though. I think he's still
He
with.
is still with us, although he has a pretty bad
I don't
drinking
think he's
problem.
real.
It's real to me, damn it.
So I feel like I should at least make at least a half-hearted attempt to get partial credit for that.
I would agree with you.
I would give him credit just for. I'm down. A couple points for Neil would be great.
Okay, we'll give him 2 points.
All right, I'll take that.
Now, can I have 1 point for being such an agreeable chap?
Davo, I'll spot you a point on my next game.
Oh, hey, right on.
I know we were carrying over credit. Just try to endear myself with people.
All right, question number 3. This fiery redhead and former child star was arrested in 2007 on suspicion of DUI. At the police station, she was searched and caught with cocaine, and to the police's surprise, she was wearing an alcohol detection ankle bracelet from a previous offense.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
Yeah, I'm locked in also.
It's that softball that you were talking about.
Thank you so much.
All right, Kels.
I went with Lindsay Lohan.
All right, Davo.
My first thought when you said fiery redhead was Danny Bonaducci, but then you said she, so I went with Lindsay Lohan.
Neil.
Well, my first thought when you said redhead was Danny Bonaducci. Then when you said she, I went to Lucille Ball. Just kidding. I went
with
straight to
Lucy first.
I went straight to Lizzie Lohan.
You are all correct. That was a nice softball lob right there.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, this one could be hit or miss. You might have to think about this a little bit.
Well, that's the essence of trivia there, Jeff. Hit or miss.
Yes, sir. So, last question in this category. This Olympic gold medalist has 2 DUIs under his belt. His second coming after a picture from a party showed him doing bong hits.
I have locked in.
I'm locked in.
Also locked in.
All right, Davo, what do you got for us?
Michael Phelps. And imagine the rip he took on that bong, too. Holy moly.
Neil?
So there was this guy that was in the last Olympics, Ryan Lochte, who did all kinds of crazy stuff. So my first thought was him. And then I had this vague recollection that there was a swimmer that did that. And I thought Greg Louganis, but he's famous for something else. And then I ended up with Phelps.
Kels?
I also went with Michael Phelps.
You would all be correct.
Woohoo!
The scores at this time are Kels has 60, Davo 72, and Neil with 94.
Oh, it's tightening up. Tighten it up.
I believe I have 70, Neil.
Oh, you know what? Hang on. Let me redo that because I did not put in our scores for Michael Phelps. So at the end of round 5, our scores are 70 for Kels, 82 for Davo, and 104 for Neil.
One category left, which is, I'm going to call this a softball category as well.
Sure, go ahead.
It's worked so far.
This is basic.
Is it former black president?
This is stuff that you would learn in elementary school, maybe middle school.
About alcohol?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What school did you go to?
I'm from Baltimore, so.
Oh, man.
Hard knocks.
Might as well be from Mayberry. Right?
They didn't have little cartons of milk in the cafeteria. They had little cartons of
Colt 45.
Colt 45.
So the last category of the night is going to be about prohibition. In 1919, which amendment to the Constitution banned the manufacture, sale, and transportation of intoxicating liquors?
How about within 4?
How about within 0?
Okay. You're a hard taskmaster, Jeff. I like it.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in. I don't think it's right, but,
Me either.
But I picked...
I feel like I'm one off.
I do, too.
Okay, I'm locked in.
Kels, what you got?
I went with the 18th Amendment.
Okay. Davo?
I went with I went with the 18th Amendment. Don't make those regretful noises while I still have hope.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I ain't mean to do that.
Neil, how about
It
you?
escaped.
I went with the 18th Amendment.
All three of you would be correct.
Woohoo!
Oh, that makes me feel so much better.
Okay, question number 2. In 1933, this amendment repealed the 18th Amendment.
Locked in.
Okay.
Locked in.
All right, Kels, what you got for us?
One with the 21st Amendment.
Okay, Neil?
Yeah, I think somewhere around that time, women got the right to vote through a constitutional amendment, and something else happened, and so I ended up at 21 also.
Okay, Davo?
I stopped at 19 and immediately regretted it.
And you should regret that. Neil
I
and Kels
do.
are correct.
I think the 19th Amendment is the right to vote.
Yeah. The bar on Dixon is called the 21st Amendment.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was a little too anxious to lock in the answer. That was my bad.
You're a history major too, right, Davo?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This state refused to enact prohibition laws and eventually earned a reputation as one of the most stubbornly anti-prohibition states in the Union.
I'm locked in.
Shot in the dark, but I'm locked in.
A shot towards the dark. So I'm locked in also.
All right, Davo, you're up.
Well, I wasn't sure of this answer, but it seems to me that a state that would refuse to do this, in my head, would be a southern state, states' rights, but not quite deep south because of the Bible Belt. So I split the difference and said Missouri.
Missouri.
Okay, Kels?
Nah, I just said California. I had no reasoning.
All right, Neil.
Well, regular listeners to the show will know that every once in a while, if I don't know the answer, I will try to play the player and not the actual question. So, since my good friend Jeff is from the great state of Maryland, I just made a wild ass guess and picked Maryland.
Neil? You're a bastard. You are correct. You can use your
It's
little bleep
freaky how
sound
you
on
do
that.
that, man. It is really freaky how you do that.
You are absolutely correct.
Well, I mean, I don't have anything else to go on.
In the late 1920s, this state boasted more than 30,000 speakeasies.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in.
I'm locked in as well.
All right, Kels, first up, what you got?
I was thinking about Capone in Chicago, so I went with Illinois.
Okay. Davo?
I followed the exact same train of logic and went with Illinois.
Neil?
I followed the same train of logic, but ended up in New York.
I think Neil's train was heading the right way.
New York? I guess.
There's a lot more people in New York.
They could have all gone to the same, 3 places. Just a different time. People got to work.
All right, I'm going to give you guys... Oh, actually,
hang on.
Let's do points first.
Yeah. So at the end of regulation, we've got Kells with 90, Davo with 92, and Neil with an even gross.
Are you going to make me Google that?
Yeah, you jerk.
It's 144. 144.
Okay. So for our final question tonight, I figure that we've had a lot of drinking questions so far. So I think for the final question, we should take a step back and dry off a little bit.
Hmm.
So I do have to drive home.
Yeah.
So I will leave you all with that to think about your wagers.
Okay, so we all have our wagers locked in.
Here we go. Even after the repeal of prohibition, some states maintained a ban on alcohol within their own borders. Kansas and Oklahoma remained dry until 1948 and 1959, respectively, and Mississippi remained alcohol-free until 1966.
Wow.
To this day, 8 states still contain counties where alcohol sales are prohibited outright. So you get full credit, or you get credit if you get 4 of the 8 states that still have dry counties, and I'm talking completely dry, because there are states that have dry counties where beer is still sold, but I'm looking for states where you cannot buy beer or any kind of spirits in certain counties, because strangely enough, they still call dry counties dry if you can buy beer in them still, which is kind of strange to me.
Trivia nugget: the county where I live stopped being a dry county about, what was it, 2 or 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
It sounds about right.
and you can't buy any alcohol on Sunday because I don't know why. That's dumb.
When we answer the question, I'll throw out a trivia nugget about that.
I would like to know, because the county that I live in, you can't buy liquor on Sundays, but I can go a half mile down the street to the next county and buy liquor on Sunday.
Okay, I've written down 8 answers.
I have written down 8 answers.
I have to written down 8, not just 2.
So here are the 8 states that still have counties that outright prohibit the sale of any type of alcohol. You've got Arkansas,
Got it.
Got it.
Georgia,
Nope.
Don't have it.
Missed it.
Kansas,
Nope.
it.
Got it.
Dang it.
Kentucky,
What?
Got it.
They have bourbon. There's no.
That's what I was thinking. I looked it off.
Fun nugget, where what is it? Kentucky is Jack
Jack
Daniels.
Daniels. Yeah.
The county
Mhm.
that Jack Daniels is actually in is a dry county.
What?
Yep. Next on the list, we have Mississippi.
Oh, I got it.
Got it.
Then we have South Dakota.
Don't have it.
I've been to South
Okay.
Dakota. There should never be a dry county in South Dakota.
And we go to another
It's
Wizard state,
inhumane.
Tennessee.
Got it.
Tennessee.
Got
it.
And Texas.
Got it.
I don't got it.
So it sounds like we had at least one person that had 4.
I had 6.
I have 4.
I got 4.
Wow. So this,
Comes down to the wagers.
yes.
Kells, what was your wager?
I'll bet it all, baby.
Oh, dang it.
Is Kells up to 180? Davo?
I bet 50.
Davo has 142. And Neil did some math and figured out if he bet 41, then Davo couldn't catch him. So he bet 41 and ended up at 185.
Nice.
Dang it.
He really likes to refer to himself in the third party too, third person. He hasn't really done that much before.
Well, Davo would like to say thank you very much to our guest host, Jeff, for some excellent questions.
It was a really good time. I hope that I can come back and do it again.
Well,
someday I'm gonna make you play sometime.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
all right.
Do it. This ended up being a lot more fun than I kind of imagined. I was a little scared about it and a little worried.
Maybe we'll do
a Are You Smarter Than a Third Grader kind of thing, and you can come on.
That's what's up.
Oh, damn. Oh.
I already told Neil if you did Am I Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, I'd still lose. I'm terrible at that show.
Wow.
It's like I know the stuff, but I just can't remember it.
Well, I'll say practice makes that a lot easier.
It does.
I've gotten a lot better at trivia just by playing more trivia.
Yeah, I should probably drink less too.
Well, you can go to the bar at Bar Trivia. Best of both worlds, man.
I cannot afford
You
to drink
toe
at
up
a
at
bar.
Hey, as a team that doesn't really drink much, we really like the teams that do drink a lot.
We do.
That improves our chances immensely.
So thank you very much, Jeff. We are on Patreon. We have a wonderful Patreon set up with lots of fun perks. I'd like to mention Susan L., our Prime patron. She's great. We are also on Facebook and Twitter at Ladle Brain. And we have email addresses so you guys can send us some categories if you want to give us some more things to work on. I am at Davo at brainladle.com. Kells is at Kells at brainladle.com. And Neil is at Neil at brainladle.com. We have a website, brainladle.com. We're all over the place. We would love to talk to you guys. We think it's great having the interaction. Oh, I neglected something, Neil. Are you ready for this?
What's that?
The trivia nugget about why you can't buy booze on Sundays. Those are things. Those are things called blue laws. Arkansas had a lot of blue laws where stores would even have to close on Sundays, and they gradually walked them back to where, in Washington County where we live, in Springdale, you can buy alcohol on Sunday. So it's all about blue laws. Some states have it where you can buy alcohol at noon on Sunday. And that just is walking back blue laws, which started off as stores would close on Sunday.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me why they're called blue laws.
I was not going to.
I was not going to. Next question.
I would love to know that. So tweet at us. Why are they called blue laws? Because I don't know why they're called blue laws.
And what's the tweeter again?
At Ladlebrain.
Oh, okay, that's different than.
That seems confusing because wouldn't it make more sense if it was Brain Ladle, like the name of the show?
I didn't want to say that out loud, but that does make a lot of sense, Neil.
I put it in incorrectly when I set up the account.
Oh, okay.
It's completely my fault.
I remember that now.
Yeah, at Ladlebrain.
It wasn't to put you on blast or anything.
No,
it was just different.
Just every week.
And I never remember.
Every week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the work week is long.
It is. Sometimes you need a refreshing beverage to get through the work week, and Jeff was able to tell us all about it. So thank you very much, guys. I had a great time, and we will catch you.
As did I.
Next time on the Brain Ladle Trivia Hour. Time.
Have we ever clocked in at just an hour? On this very special episode.
The
preceding podcast was presented by Brain Ladle Productions. All rights reserved.